Hello and welcome to the exciting part of Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, where we play as Reinhardt. Good show. Now, at the start of this, I recently found a page from a Nintendo 64 magazine that was published in the early 1998, around that point. And I found this interesting because it showed some beta elements of Castlevania 64 that never got into the full release. Also, you'll notice that unlike Cornell, we don't have an announcer announcing the text on screen. This was in the Castlevania 64 version, but was just removed from Legacy of Darkness, probably for space, if anything. Anyway, one of the more interesting things from this was they actually showed off some of the beta names of the characters. Of these, there is some that I was really surprised about. For example, Collar's name was not originally Collar, and Cornell originally had a last name. Crazy, I know. Yes, we're going up to the ship, same as we did with Cornell. Because, I don't know, the ship was sank in Cornell's playthrough, so why is it up again? Didn't this motherfucker sink? How did it return to the surface? Questions we may never know. Anyway, Collar's name was Kola? It was Kola. I don't know how that was supposed to be pronounced. Or maybe it was just an issue with translation, since after all, I doubt Castlevania 64 was very close into its translation at that point. And yes, we've seen this already. Now, one thing I did know beforehand was Reinhardt's beta name. It wasn't Reinhardt Schneider, but rather Schneider was going to be his first name. And his last name was going to be Belmont. Which makes sense after all, this is the guy that is carrying the vampire killer. Why would just some random dude have the vampire killer? Isn't that something that's, kind of been entrusted to the Belmonts? So if he was Schneider Belmont, it would make more sense for him to be holding the vampire killer, as we know how he would have gotten it. And as far as Reinhardt, where did that come from? Well, Cornell's full name was originally Cornell Reinhardt. And by God, I am really screwing up this level. But yes, he was originally Cornell Reinhardt. What his new last name is, they just didn't give him one. They didn't think it was important to give him a new last name. And Carrie was originally going to be known as Carrie Eastfield and not Carrie Fernandez. I'm not sure what made that change, as it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But, oh well. It doesn't really matter too much. Let us continue on as is. Another interesting thing that was in this magazine is they have Carrie listed as the one that's probably going to be the most challenging character to use, and Reinhardt was considered to be the beginner character. Which is funny, because that has basically been flipped around these days. As you can see, sometimes Reinhardt needs to work with the targeting system, which sometimes doesn't work with him. And that makes people really think he's a bit awkward and clunky, as sometimes the targeting system is just annoying, and Carrie is considered easy because her bolts hone onto things, which means that she doesn't need to worry about the targeting system. Her bolts will just seek out things and kill them for her. And yes, we're going to be skipping a lot of the cutscenes that we saw as Cornell because I don't really see a lot of a reason to show them multiple times. We've already seen them after all. And we have 50 red jewels coming out here. Good, good. Come on. It'd be really nice if I could hit this guy. Yes, when you're not just wolfing out and having steroids show up, we can actually see what this guy does. As we repeatedly miss him. Hooray. But that's okay, because we can come over here and get the roast beef and roast chicken from before. They replenished themselves since Cornell has been here. And now that familiar forest of silence with these familiar little green jumpy men. Good show. The same simple jumps and pull-ups, and the same level that Cornell did. However, I'm not going to make the same skip we did as Cornell, because I guess it's a way to make this level feel new, and interesting, and unique. But we all know it's none of those things. Also, at the time it was listed that Cornell Reinhardt could only use hand-to-hand combat, which is strange to us now because he shoots those weird magic-y things. So, what exactly their plan with him is? A lot of people call them like mini sonic booms, or shockwaves. As far as what they're supposed to be in lore, God only knows, really. Can I? Okay, it's just some gold. And I also recently found out that yes, in fact, the werewolf transformation triples Cornell's damage output. However, he cannot use sub-weapons while transformed. Even though that would drain a lot of red jewels, can you imagine a 3 times damage level 3 axe? That would be terrifying. Truly, truly terrifying. Now let's pull this familiar little lever and have this guy come out. Yes. Once again, he is very threatening. He challenged us, and we were challenged. We were very scared. We almost didn't make it. But fortunately we pulled through in the end, by Jove. And now we have the level 3 whip. As you might have seen, the whip changes, which is nice. It was originally the leathery whip that we're all used to, the base whip in Castlevania being. Then it became the familiar ball of chain, and now it's the whip of light. I mean, it's still the vampire killer, but it's the whip of light. Now, the way that you're supposed to go through here when you're not making the jump that I make, or using the shortcut that Henry used, and most people who don't know about the skip but do know about the shortcut end up using the shortcut. Before then, however, this is the intended way to get over here. And you can see why we didn't, because this looks very stupid. And it is very stupid. Yes, there's just this sitting over here. What kind of boss are we going to get? What kind of challenge? Exploding skeleton. Oh no. It's okay though. Even though we didn't kill it, we could run away, and it killed itself. And, oh, would you look at this? We no longer have the platforms up quite where they are. Yes, this is essentially a slight variation of the Castlevania 64 part, which is the first place where most people die in because, again, it has that part where it's very easy to use a side jump to throw yourself off the cliff. Well, not throw yourself off a cliff, you're throwing yourself off of one of these platforms coming out of a cliff. Yes. Unfortunately, even though those things are down, we can just grab up here. It's fine. Now, this is where a puzzle starts to come into place. A puzzle that is very easily skippable. You may have noticed this ugly rock over here. Let's read. Words engraved on the base plate say, "The sage points to the right path." Well, if we whip this, turns out Reinhardt is a master sculptor. And as you can see, the sage is pointing with their left hand, which means that we want to go over here. However, even then, it's not a very good puzzle because I've seen people just completely ignore that, walk over the right path, and just jump as it collapses. Oh wow, would you look at this, there's a dead guy. Dead, could it be someone from the village? What village? Ooh, look at this. And now we have to fight? Cornell's cooler than you are. A very, very threatening boss. Hey, at least he hit us. That's more than Tiger Man did. And now, yep, you can see that gate. And when you're... Whoops. Getting a little spooked. And now you're supposed to go down this. So that you can get to this platform. Yes, that's how you're supposed to get here normally when you're not clipping or using the hidden path. Exciting gameplay action as we jump up and down on things we've already seen before. On the bright side, let's hope that I can have a much better fight against Bone Mob, since we have level 3 axes and a level 3 whip. Fun fact, in hard mode that is a one-hit kill. I have no idea why that's a one-hit kill, but it's a one-hit kill and I learned that the hard way. Okay. We missed everything! If we had hit everything, we would have not had to worry about stupid shit. One day I will be able to do this fight. I will be good at this fight. I swear it. By the powers of the underpants. I will stop missing that hit. Okay. Moment of truth. There we fucking go. That's how it's supposed to be done. As we immediately fuck up again. And yes. Let us get your roast chicken brain again. And then let's skip this. And continue forth through the castle-y wall. Now, are we going to have to do what we did as Cornell and go up this twice? The answer is no. Fortunately. Very, very fortunately. Because that was not good design, and I was a little worried there. I was worried the bats would knock me off, and then worried the platform would crush me. But it won't, for I am a man, and I jump like a man. And we can not even know you could just walk through that. Okay. And once again, we almost clip through the platform like we did as Cornell, but that was 7 years ago. Or 6 days ago, whatever you want to say. We will not get the chicken in that platform, as in the platform. We will not get that chicken in the torch as it has bested us. It has used its superior skills and intellect. And we miss our things. And we continue to fuck this fight up. One hit should kill it, but it's not going to because we are bad. And there we go. We almost fucked this fight up as badly as we did as Cornell. Jesus Christ. And now we can operate this device. Good show. And now let's eat a roast chicken because by Jove, we have almost killed ourselves using nothing more than the power of our own stupidity. Now you can really just jump up on the platform where the roast chicken is and just shoot at the bone pillar from there. Well, it's the white dragon. That's what it's supposed to be called. And since there's no lever, since the switch is already in place, there's a power-up. But we don't need the power-up. Instead, what we need to do is come over here and grab this, the left tower key. And we will save, because if the last part of this, as Cornell has shown us anything, it's that I am not very good at this tower. I'm not. Some of the random configurations of the tower still confuse my reptilian mind. Yes. And since that platform isn't gone, I know that this is going to be a configuration that will confuse me, so let's wait. Yes. And there we go. By the power of being patient, we have won at everything. And we have almost killed ourselves already. We are an impressive man, armed with nothing but a whip, a sword, and a whole lot of axes. And as you can see, this is now a night thing. And it's now a night door because we are going to automatically make our way over and pull this lever. Yes. Cornell didn't get this cutscene because Cornell was being antagonized by Ortega in this level, but there is no Ortega. He died 7 years ago. So, what's going to antagonize us in this town? As the truck stopped turning. Ooh, a bell rang. That's important. We'll turn around. We'll stare at the castle some for no obvious reason. We'll walk towards the castle and... It's Dracula! Hello there, Dracula. How are you today? I killed you as Cornell. Yes, in the Nintendo 60... I keep saying the Nintendo 64 version. Drinking game. Every time I say Nintendo 64 version instead of Castlevania 64, take a shot. You will die of alcohol poisoning by Jove. But yes, this used to have voice acting in it. But now it doesn't. Because voice acting takes up a lot of space. And they had to use that space to add high-res textures in Cornell's level. Which, to be fair, was a worthwhile trade. At least it is an emulation. By God, trying to play on high-res on console is not fun. Not fun at all. And there's a save gem there specifically because they know that you might throw yourself off the cliff. You might get yourself killed at this part, as many have before you. I remember there being exploding skeletons in that part, but apparently the exploding skeletons are gone. Hello. Oh no. It's okay. We're fine. And now, waiting for this guy to spawn. Alright. How we wait for the next two to spawn. and we continue through with this fight, using significantly less embarrassing tactics than we did as Cornell. And taking that same roast beef. Now, this is where a bit of naughtiness of the level comes through. And I might not even get to show it off, because I have not been particularly fast. Yes, in the speedrun of this level, you have to go through an RNG to try and get some... What is it again? Yes, it's that guy we fought as Henry. And we should just start using level 3 axes in response to anything even remotely threatening. And we give him 2 good whips for measure. Now, if you're playing through this casually, you might be like, this is a beautiful room. I wonder if there's anything to do in it. Well, I don't see anything in it. So you're going to come up through here and investigate some more. Hey, look, there's this room. Let's go into this place. And hello there. It's another person. Are you a fucking idiot? Do I look like Dracula? Dracula's like, what, 10 feet tall? Don't move. Not even a finger. Alright. You appear to be a genuine human. I am Charlie Vincent, the mightiest of all vampire killers. You look like a villager. Are you lost in the forest? I'm Reinhardt Schneider. I have the fucking vampire killer. What vampire slayer do you call yourself if you don't even recognize that artifact? Don't talk nonsense. Leave Dracula to me. Man with the fucking vampire killer. He's not the sort of opponent for an amateur with a vampire killer. The vampire is not a foe to be taken lightly. Leave it to someone with the Belmont's treasure. Flee to safety now before you get your dumbass killed. Obstinate youth, I will give you one more warning. Leave this place without delay. Do you understand? Ah, yes. At dawn I spied a young woman in the rose garden. In the midst of this nest of foes, she was calmly tending the roses. And that is your hint for what to do next. Let's just go through. And in fact, he said at dawn. However, if you use a time of day card to switch it to 6 AM, you will not get this cutscene. Haha! Yes, by at dawn he means before dawn. If you arrive here at dawn, this doesn't trigger. That is some good design. That's some fucking good design. I wish to walk to the roses. Please step aside. Who are you? What are you doing here? I am Rosa. I look after these white roses. White roses? Oh no, bitch is colorblind. Oh no, wait. She's using red food dye. You're a vampire? I have you no fear. None but vampires and demons live here. Wandering carelessly in this place will soon cost you your life. I cannot disobey my father's teaching, to never attack the weak. Also, I'm kind of surprised that Vincent, who claims to have met you, didn't just shove his cross in your face like he did me. The destiny of my blood means I must destroy Dracula, which is funny because they retconned me out of being a Belmont. First you must go to the castle archives. The key to the archives? Ah yes, a previous adventurer took it. He tried to stick the cross in my face. I didn't have the heart to tell him that's not how vampires work in this universe. You have to throw them like a boomerang. I can help you no more. Don't lose your life too quickly. And then she disappears. Very slowly. And he's just going to... Ah, there we go. Anyway, this has been this episode of Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. Have a good one.